The night Emily Carter's heart cracked was supposed to be magical. The Christmas lights shimmered above the restaurant terrace like tiny floating wishes, and the cold December air carried the faint scent of cinnamon and hope. She had spent hours convincing herself that this blind date might finally be the moment her lonely streak ended, the moment she would finally be seen, cherished, loved. But as she sat alone at the small table decorated with a single candle and a sprig of holly, she watched the man she was meant to meet glance at her from across the room, then turn around, shake his head, and walk right back out through the glowing doorway. He didn't even bother to greet her. To him, a brief look was enough to decide she wasn't worth his time. And just like that, everything inside her tightened and folded, as if the world had whispered once again that she wasn't enough. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of unexpected moments that change everything, make sure to like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Emily's hands trembled slightly as she tried to maintain her composure. Couples around her laughed softly, forks clinked against plates, and the golden lights blurred in her eyes as tears threatened to fall. She told herself to breathe, to stay calm, to not let the shame swallow her whole. She had worked so hard to rebuild her life after a painful breakup 2 years earlier, therapy, new routines, promising herself she wouldn't settle for someone who made her feel invisible. But being rejected before even being greeted? On Christmas week? It felt cruel in a way she didn't have words for. She lowered her gaze, pretending to study the menu she already knew by heart, hoping no one had noticed her date fleeing like her presence was something to escape. Her heart beat heavy, a dull ache spreading through her chest as she tried to swallow the humiliation. But then, just when she thought the night couldn't get worse, a soft laugh, light and warm, broke through her misery. Emily looked up, and her eyes landed on a small girl, maybe 6 or 7, wearing a red velvet dress with a white ribbon around her waist. She had golden curls and eyes full of wonder, like she carried Christmas inside her smile. The child was holding a gingerbread-shaped toy in her hands, jumping slightly as if the whole world excited her. Behind her stood a man, tall, handsome, maybe in his early 30s, watching the child with a patience that radiated something gentle, something safe. The little girl was walking toward Emily's table, tugging her father's hand insistently. Emily straightened, unsure what to do, her heart still fragile from the rejection. The child stepped closer, her smile so bright it softened every sharp edge inside Emily's chest. And then, in a voice soft but filled with certainty, she asked the most unexpected question, "Can we join you?" For a moment, Emily froze. Her throat tightened, her breath stalled, and the pain of moments earlier tangled with a flicker of disbelief. Why her? Why now? But when she looked at the father, she realized he wasn't pulling the little girl away. He simply stood beside her, offering Emily a small, apologetic smile, as if silently asking whether this intrusion was okay. His eyes weren't pitying, they were understanding, like he had recognized the sadness she tried so hard to hide. She nodded gently, and the man pulled out a chair for his daughter before taking one opposite Emily. The restaurant lights shimmered around them, casting a soft glow over the impromptu trio. Emily felt her chest loosen slightly as the little girl chattered happily about Christmas decorations and her excitement over gingerbread cookies. Emily listened, slowly uncoiling from the painful rejection she had suffered just minutes earlier, and allowed herself to smile, a real, soft smile that surprised even her. The father introduced himself as Daniel Hayes, and his daughter as Lily. He explained that Lily had noticed Emily sitting alone and insisted they keep her company because, in Lily's words, no one should be alone on Christmas. Emily's heart warmed at the innocence behind the gesture. She found herself telling them small pieces of her story, not the painful ones, just enough to create a gentle bridge of connection. The more she spoke, the more Daniel listened. And not just with polite nods, but with genuine attention, leaning in slightly, as if her words mattered. That alone was something she hadn't felt in a long time. As the evening grew deeper, the sounds of cheerful chatter enveloped the terrace, and the cold night outside contrasted with the warmth building at their table. Emily watched the little girl give her father pieces of bread shaped like tiny hearts, and Daniel smiled patiently, brushing crumbs from her hair with tender affection. Something about the way he loved his daughter so openly made Emily's chest tighten with admiration. This was the kind of man who knew how to care, not just with gestures but with presence. Slowly, Emily learned that Daniel was a single father, widowed for nearly 3 years, doing his best to raise Lily with love and stability. It hadn't been easy, but he had kept going. His strength didn't come from toughness, it came from compassion, from knowing how to rebuild when life shatters unexpectedly. Emily related more than she expected. In their silent moments, she felt an unspoken connection forming, two hearts that had known loss, sitting at a table covered in Christmas lights, learning to breathe again. The night stretched in a way that felt strangely comforting. Lily leaned her head on Emily's arm at one point, and Emily felt a warmth swell inside her chest, a feeling she hadn't felt in so long it almost startled her. She had grown used to loneliness, to being the backup plan, the afterthought. But now, this little girl was hugging her like she had known her forever, and Daniel was looking at her with gratitude that melted the last bits of rejection still lingering in her heart. By the time dessert arrived, something had shifted. Emily realized she was no longer thinking about the man who rejected her. She was thinking about how beautiful life could feel in its unpredictability, how sometimes the best moments come from things that aren't planned at all. Daniel asked gentle questions about her passions, her work, the things that made her smile. Emily found herself opening up, feeling seen in a way she hadn't felt in years. It wasn't romantic yet. It wasn't rushed or forced. It was simply two human beings, broken in different places, finding comfort in each other's presence. Lily soon fell asleep against Daniel's shoulder, and Emily watched him adjust her carefully, brushing a kiss against her forehead. Something inside Emily shifted again, an ache, a longing, but also an admiration. She felt honored just to witness that kind of love. As the night neared its end, the restaurant staff dimmed the lights, and soft Christmas music filled the air. Emily didn't want the evening to end, and neither, it seemed, did Daniel. The cold breeze outside fogged the glass walls slightly, making the world beyond the terrace feel distant, like time had slowed just for them. Emily realized that if she had not been rejected earlier, she would never have met Lily's sparkling smile or Daniel's warm, steady presence. Life had a way of breaking you open, only to fill you with something softer, something better. Before leaving, Daniel gently asked if he could see her again, not out of obligation, not out of sympathy, but because he genuinely wanted to. Emily felt her heart flutter in a way she hadn't allowed for years. She said yes softly, not because she was afraid of losing the moment, but because she finally believed she deserved something good. If this story touched your heart even a little, please like the video, share it, and subscribe so more people can find these emotional stories. Your support truly means the world.